All right, let's talk about something that's on a lot of people's minds. We're going to go on a little quest today to answer a huge question, one that's popping up everywhere from university labs to Reddit threads. In this wild, fast-moving world of AI, is getting a PhD even worth it anymore? Let's dive in and figure it out.
And this, right here, is the heart of the problem, isn't it? AI is just moving at a ridiculous speed. The model that's blowing everyone's mind today might be a footnote in a textbook by the time you'd finish a 5-year program. So, what's the deal? Is a PhD a smart, long-term play, or are you just signing up to be 5 years behind the curve?
This really shows you the two sides of the argument perfectly. On the one hand, you've got a PhD fellow, Jack Zhang, talking about the pure freedom to explore ideas without worrying about funding. But on the other hand, you have this totally valid point from a Reddit user, basically asking, is the payoff really worth all that time and effort when I could be out there getting a job? It's that classic battle, intellectual passion versus cold, hard pragmatism.
So to help you think through this, we've laid out a kind of roadmap. We're going to start at the crossroads, then explore what makes research so appealing in the first place. We'll look at what you could actually study, put together a modern toolkit, and then we have to talk about the new rules. Finally, we'll bring it all back to help you make your own call.
Okay, so let's start at that crossroads. This is really the fundamental choice, right? Jump into the industry now and get hands-on experience, or make this long-term bet on developing some seriously deep expertise. Getting a handle on this core argument is step one.
And here's the thing you've got to understand. A PhD is not about learning how to use today's AI tools. It's about learning how to think. It's like an apprenticeship for your brain. You're being trained to ask the right questions, the ones no one else is asking, and then to figure out how to actually answer them. You're learning to be the person who creates the next thing, not just uses the current one.
Okay, so if it's this tough journey about learning to think, why do people do it? What's the big draw? Well, it usually comes down to this really powerful mix of prestige, a surprising amount of funding, and yeah, that freedom to chase the really big, weird, world-changing ideas.
And speaking of funding, just look at this number, $68 million. And get this, that's just one fellowship program from one company, Amazon. You have all these industry giants pouring huge amounts of cash into PhD programs because they know that's where the next massive breakthroughs are going to come from. That money gives you the freedom to just do the work.
And that freedom lets you tackle some seriously cool problems. Take Amadev Kumar here. He's not just trying to make AI videos look a little better, he's trying to teach AI the actual laws of physics. So when a ball bounces in an AI video, it actually looks like a real ball bouncing. It sounds simple, but it's an incredibly deep and fascinating challenge.
Then you have people like Caio Deberaldini Neto, who are basically on a quest for trust. He's digging into the heavy-duty math behind these AI models to figure out how they really work. His goal? To make them so reliable that we can use them without being afraid of what's going on inside that black box.
And this might be one of the most important quests of all. Jack Zhang is focused on AI alignment. He's working on the massive challenge of making sure that as these AIs get smarter and more powerful, they stay aligned with what we, as humans, actually want and value. It's a foundational problem for the future of everything.
So these individual quests are amazing, but they're just a few spots on a gigantic map. If you decided to go on this journey, what would you even explore? Let's zoom out and take a look at the whole frontier.
I mean, just look at the sheer breadth of this. You could be using AI to discover new medicines, fight climate change, or defend our entire digital world from cyber attacks. It's not just about coding, it's about applying this incredible technology to solve some of the biggest problems humanity faces.
And within any of these fields, a PhD lets you go incredibly deep. For example, check out this concept, the chemical Kármán line. How cool is that name? It's basically a metaphor for the edge of an AI's knowledge. Imagine an AI designed to find new drugs. This line is the point where it sees a molecule that is so new, so different from anything it's ever been trained on, that it completely breaks. And the scary part is, it doesn't even know it's broken. A PhD is about figuring out where those lines are, and then how to push past them.
So, you've got your quest, you've got your map, what's next? You need your tools. And here's where things get really interesting and kind of meta. The modern AI researcher is actually using AI to research AI faster and better.
So this is what the modern toolkit looks like. Instead of spending months buried in a library, tools like ResearchRabbit can help you find all the relevant papers in an afternoon. tools like Elicit can read a 50-page paper and give you the key takeaways in seconds. This isn't about letting the AI do your thinking for you. It's about using it to handle the grunt work so you can spend more time on the big ideas. It's about augmenting your own intelligence.
But of course, with powerful new tools come powerful new rules. You can't just fire up ChatGPT and have it write your thesis for you. Understanding the new landscape of academic integrity is a non-negotiable part of this journey.
The basic principles are pretty straightforward. First, get permission. Always. Second, you have to disclose everything. Be totally transparent. Third, and this is huge, protect your data. Never, ever upload unpublished research into a public AI. Fourth, the buck stops with you. You have to verify everything the AI gives you. And finally, just assume AI is off limits during formal exams unless they specifically say otherwise.
So let's make it super simple. Do use AI to brainstorm ideas or help you structure a chapter. Do use it to clean up your writing, but don't ever just copy and paste its output. Don't upload sensitive data. Don't let it do your critical thinking. And no, you absolutely cannot list an AI as a co-author. The AI is the tool, you are the researcher.
And that brings us to the end of our map. We've looked at the debate, the reasons why, the amazing frontiers, the tools, and the rules. So now, it all comes back to you.
So what's the verdict? Is an AI PhD worth it? It seems like the answer is this. A PhD is not really about what you learn. It's about what you become. It trains you to ask your own questions, to invent new ways to find answers, to handle unbelievably complex problems, and to add one small, new piece to the giant puzzle of human knowledge. It's about becoming a creator, an architect of the future, not just someone who lives in it.
So, in the end, this whole decision doesn't really have anything to do with the job market or how fast the technology is changing. It all boils down to a question. A PhD is a 5-year obsession to find one original answer to one hard problem. So the only person who can decide if it's worth it is you. The real question you have to ask yourself is, what problem do you care about enough to solve?